Coming up, Kathy and Teresa are going to talk about getting fit for your Disney vacation, or as I like to call it, sweating with the oldies. Coming up next. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 593 for the week of April 2nd, 2013. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends John Magi, Kevin Close, Teresa Eccles, Kathy Whirling, I forgot her name for a second, and of course, back in the production nook, our producer Dustin West, along with Sean Thompson and Craig Williams. And before we get into this episode, it's just something I forgot to mention in housekeeping in the last episode, reminding everybody that next Tuesday we are not going to be broadcasting live. We do have 2 new shows going up, but we are going to be doing our next 7 and 7 segment, our 7 resorts and 7 nights. We're doing our resort stays next week, and then that show will go up toward the end of May, I believe, is what we're looking at right now. So we are not live next Tuesday, but the shows will go up. You can still come to DizUnplugged.com, watch them, 1 o'clock, just like normal. Just we're not going to be actually live, but people will be in the chat room, and you can chat, and maybe some of our
have some snacks.
Some of our friends here that aren't doing 7 and 7 can hop in the chat room and grace you with their presence. And just want to do a shout out to the Chatterati. About 400 people in our chat room right now, watching us live. Saying hello to those guys. You can watch us live either on livestream.com or dizunplugged.com every Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Except next Tuesday we're not live.
Right.
But I've been over that already, so I'm not saying it again. Kathy and Teresa are doing an ongoing series about how to get in shape before your vacation. And I think it's a great idea for a series and segments. You don't realize, it happens to me all the time, where, I go somewhere and I'm like, God, why didn't I start doing something to prep for this?
You wake up the first morning after you're there and your legs are killing you. Oh, my God, what am I doing?
Exactly. Yeah. And because you don't realize that it's not difficult when you're doing like theme park vacations or a lot of different types of vacations for you to walk 5 or 6 miles in a day, something, I don't normally do. And the way I know that I walk 5 or 6 miles is I've talked about it on the show. We talked about it on our Travel Tech show last week. Was the Nike FuelBand, which is something you can wear around your wrist. I don't have mine on right now, but you can wear it around your wrist, and it tracks your movement, and you can sync it with your computer and sync it with your smartphone, and it will tell you how far you've walked. And I have one for each of you.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
And thank you
for you as you do your segments. You can set goals for yourself. It tracks your steps. It also tracks what they call Nike Fuel, which is Nike's way of calculating how much energy you're expending doing what you're doing during the course of the day, and they give you Nike Fuel points. So let's say you set a goal for yourself of 3,000 Nike Fuel points a day. You can always check your band and see where you are.
So doing things gives you points?
Yeah, it's all based on motion. It's all based on motion and activity.
Your arm, your whole body has to be moving?
Well,
so it's
really your arm. I don't know exactly.
Put on the wrist that you beat your kids with.
Oh my God! But yeah, generally speaking, it's about tracking the motion of the arm, because unless you're like that Seinfeld episode, the freakish people that don't like move their arms when they walk. That's part of, I think, how it tracks it. But they're really, really cool. Tell you calories burned, steps, Nike Fuel, and also the time. It's also a watch.
A watch.
Yeah, and it'll convert those steps. When you sync it up to your computer, it'll convert the steps to miles, so you can see how many miles.
Right.
Wow.
You can
so even if I'm just doing day-to-day activity.
Yep. You always wear it. Always wear it.
friggin' times I walk down the hall to beat on the kid's door.
Exactly.
It'll count every step. Oh my
Exactly.
gosh. That's awesome.
Oh, so you got it made then.
Yeah.
And it will sync via Bluetooth to your iPhone. So, you can always sync it up and see like what your progress is. It gives you charts and all this other. It's really cool.
Oh, wow.
I think you guys will really enjoy it. I know we
thank
love
you.
it. Dustin's got one. Sean's got one. I've got
Is it
one.
stylish in color?
I think I got you guys the black ones.
Basic black.
Nice
slimming.
basic. Oh no, actually that's a clear one.
Yeah.
Ooh, a clear one.
Clear's the best.
Black is the best.
It's like a hospital band.
Teresa,
I was just released.
It's got a little needle that goes into your bloodstream.
Okay.
So it tests if you eat sugar.
For diabetes.
Lets you know if you had too
It
much
gives you a
candy.
shock every time you go to the refrigerator.
Well, I need that.
It
That's
jolts
something
you.
I do need. Really.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
I thought,
That's
as you
pretty
do
cool.
as you do these segments, this is
Yeah,
something you can
thank you.
use to kind of track your progress and
Yeah.
set goals for
you-
yourself.
Now you have something else to talk to you besides the cat.
I know. I'll put it on the cat. Oh, a little collar. I can see what the cat's going on. Klaus can exercise for me. Wow.
All right, we'll turn it over to you guys.
All right, Kathy, I'm going to let you start it out.
Well, I guess we want to talk about why we want to do this, or that we know that everybody, Pete's already said that everybody, before you go on vacation, I'm sure the thought crosses your mind about you need to get in shape to go on vacation. Because here, especially at Disney World, you do an awful lot of walking in a day. I know we've read threads that people walk 9-10 miles, which you would never do if you were home. But
Some
then
people would, but the average person, I
Right,
don't think is
I
doing that.
agreed.
Yeah.
you get back to your room and you go, oh, my legs hurt. And it's because you didn't get in shape to go on your vacation. So Teresa and I have decided that for this segment and for reasons in our own personal life that we want to start being, healthier?
Yeah,
Is that-
getting
is that-
moving. We both have pretty sedate jobs. We work at home and we work at a desk most of the time. We are out in the parks, but for the good part of the time, being travel agents, you are sitting at your computer working. And also working at home, I need to find time to fit a physical activity into my day, because if you're working, there's not really an end to your day because you're at the office all the time. So a challenge for me will be to try to find time to.
It's
Right.
also very easy for us to get you get forgetful. All of a sudden it's the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden it's time
Yes.
to go to bed.
Yeah.
And you might have good intentions. Oh, today I'm going to exercise and I'm going
Yeah.
to do this or that. It's a very difficult thing to do
Yeah,
when you
and
work from home.
It really is. And another reason, not just getting fit, getting healthier so you'll have a better time on your trip. Another reason I had was you have special clothes you want to wear when you're on your trip. You want to look your best for that picture in front of the castle or whatever. So maybe a lot of people, and myself included, I want to lose weight before I go on vacation because, I don't want that vacation picture coming back and going, man, why didn't I? And every time in my past, I usually I don't really set a goal, but I'd like, how you want to look your best for those photographs. And I always have the best intentions to do that. Well, this time I'm going to do it. We're going on a cruise the end of August, and I'm taking my sister on this cruise, not my kids. I've never traveled with my sister. I've lived with her, I've known her for my entire 52 years, and I know what kind of person she is. She doesn't listen to the show, thank God. And she's the healthy person, She's got the stamina and the will to do what she has to do to get things done. I don't. I'm a procrastinator. I procrastinate about I'm going to start tomorrow. You know what? I'm going to eat the candy tonight.
You're not alone.
Trust me.
Yeah, I know I'm
It's-
not.
You
It's
are not
always
alone.
that. Okay, today I'll be bad. Tomorrow I'll start.
I'll start
Yes.
tomorrow.
I'll get
You know
back.
what?
I'll get back on the horse tomorrow. I
Yeah,
can't tell you how many times
but
I
do that-
tell myself that.
I do that every day. I mean,
No, we do that.
every
Right,
time.
of course. We all do. Yeah,
that spaghetti is calling me at 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to eat it, and then tomorrow another day.
There's also another reason you pointed out, you want to feel good on your trip, but you also want to be able to do things.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, one of the problems I have is that I'm always excited to be on vacation, and I think I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then my hips hurt,
Right.
Yeah.
my feet hurt, and you think, I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's true. And so this episode, we're going to talk about what our goals are, what we'd like to get out of this, and also how we'd like it to continue in our life after our trip. because ultimately I want to be a healthier person.
Right.
Right.
We don't want this to just be about the segment. This is about we're going to be changing our life, or we're
Yeah.
going to try to change our life.
Excellent. So get up on
Going-
the scale.
Yeah,
do
let's
a
weigh in. Let's do a weigh in.
Yeah,
do a
let's
measurement.
strip down to your underwear. And
Well, see, that is one of the things that when Teresa and I were talking about doing this,
We have different. We're
We
coming at
have-
it from different directions.
yes, I don't want that pressure of saying, I want to lose 40 pounds or
Right.
whatever the number is. I want to just start having a healthier life.
right.
That, that as I'm doing that and eating healthy and exercising, the pounds are going to come off. But I don't want to give myself that stress of going, oh, I only lost 2 pounds this week. Or maybe this week I didn't, but I was out in the park walking or on my treadmill 5 days this week, which is a lot more than what I normally do. So I'm doing it that way.
I'm coming at it from a different direction. I need something on the calendar to look at that says there's a date, and by that date, I want to be 5 pounds lighter. I'm not going to go to the end result and say 75 pounds, I want to lose them.
Right.
I've got to have little mini goals.
This wristband is going to be great for you then.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's going to
be
work out
perfect.
well. I hope it does. So, but that's I'm not opposed to throwing. I'm not going to throw out my weight, my starting weight. I don't.
Right.
Very few people know that, and they will be killed if they tell. But at the
I thought she
end,
meant she wasn't going to she wasn't going to binge or something or purge.
but at the end of this journey, I might throw that out. I don't know. But I'm okay with saying,
Look.
I've lost 10 pounds, I've lost 5 pounds.
And-
You'll be able to see the difference, I think.
And the segment doesn't need to be about
No.
how much weight you individually
No.
have lost, but about your process and about what you're learning. And
Yeah.
and
That's ultimately what it's
you know,
about.
because it's different for everybody. The fact that you're both approaching it from a different angle is good, because I think what motivates a lot of people to get healthier or lose weight varies by the person.
And by the day.
And by the day.
And by the day, what would motivate me a year ago or 10 years ago is totally non-existent now. I mean,
See, when I started, because I don't mind, I'll throw my weight out. When I started losing weight last July, I was 245. Now, that was not my heaviest. My heaviest was 265. I am down to about 220 now. I had been down to about 206 when I got back from Europe. And I started put it back on over the holidays. But it's kind of found it's kind of a 218 to 220 seems to be where I'm settling. And based on the choices I'm making right now, that's my sustainable weight. And that's what I tried to do this time, different than last time, where I said, I'm not going to eat this, and I'm not going to eat that. I had to find a different way for me. And that meant, maybe lay off the fried chicken every night. Don't eat out every night.
Right.
And then if I want to have the fried chicken, if I want to have the pizza, have it. Just don't eat the entire box.
Right.
Don't eat, all 8 slices
That's,
of pizza.
I think, where I'm coming from. It's like I have to be able to eat sort of like what I've been eating all along, maybe with some changes. But if you said all of a sudden you can't have any of this stuff anymore, I couldn't do this.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah. If you
It's,
I've lost 106 pounds since September of 2011. I sort of have plateaued at that point and haven't, but I'm proud to say that I haven't gained it back.
See, that's great.
That's great.
But I haven't lost the rest of it. And I think we lost our motivation also. And I agree with Kathy. I couldn't approach this. I've been heavy most of my life. I mean, other than like when I was born.
I was my smallest when I was born.
Yeah, me too. However, I went to diet shortly after that. But I can't do it. I have to do it this way now. If I say to myself, I have to lose X number of pounds, that's insurmountable. So I didn't, for the first couple of months I did this, I didn't weigh myself. I didn't know how much I lost. And I started getting on the scale again. And it's one of those things that it can be very discouraging if you've worked really hard and you gain a pound, because we want it to be methodical. If you don't eat on Wednesday, on Thursday you will be lighter. And that's not kind of the way it works.
Right.
it's not the cause and effect, the immediate cause and effect. It's a long-term thing. So I found that it was better motivation to kind of not pay attention to the scale, to just do what I knew was right and keep going.
But see, if I approach it that way, I tend to say, well, you know what? No one's going to weigh me. No one's going to know if I eat this bag of whatever.
You're going to know, though.
Right.
I know I will.
Yeah.
But then there's always tomorrow. But you know what? There's not always tomorrow.
Right.
And I have to tell myself that because, you know.
Well, I disagree with that a little bit because I have been heavy all my life. I used to diet, and if I hate the word cheated, if I stopped eating healthy, I would kind of in my mind thought, well, I blew it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's only Thursday, so now I'm going to start again on Monday.
Right.
Well, then on Monday, you just don't.
Right, exactly.
So what happens is you always have to say to yourself, I blew it now. I could start again this afternoon.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
It doesn't have to be an all
Start
or
your day
nothing.
over again.
Right.
You start your day over again.
I'm okay with that.
Before we go any further, I do want to just take a moment and pause and go ahead and play the video that
Okay.
you and Kathy
Oh, our
recorded
first.
last week, your first video package for this segment. So we'll go ahead and switch to that.
Hi, I'm Teresa Eccles, and this is Kathy Whirling, and we're with the Diz Unplugged. We're here today at Fort Wilderness to do a little walking, a little talking, try to get healthy for our upcoming cruise in August, and we'd like you to join us. So let's get going and have a good time. Every time I get ready to go on a trip or a vacation, you know how, for me, I want to get healthy. I want to wear certain clothes, and I try to lose weight for the trip, and it never happens. This year it's going to happen.
I just decided that this was the year I was going to try to get the health side of me in order. So I just wanted to get up and get moving a little more.
Ooh, what's this in here? The water filtration.
This looks interesting.
What is that? Is it pumping out raw sewage? Campground sewage?
But that's
Are we
what I'm gonna
fishing?
try.
Did you catch anything? No? Got a weed there. Are there fish in there? You should walk fast enough where you cannot carry on a conversation to get any benefit out of
Yes,
it. It's my
yes.
mother's theory. I don't know if that's something she knows. See, I can't do that. If I'm not talking, then what's the point?
Well, we're just sort of just starting out. It's not like we do this all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, we
but
know
we
how to
will.
walk in a theme park.
I don't walk like this in a theme park, though. Do you walk this fast in a theme park?
Depends what I'm over there for. Yeah, sometimes I do.
Yeah, not me. Unless there's, a short line at the bakery and I can get to the front of the line. Oh, I'm going down. She's down. I'm done. Hey, there's the
keep track
bus.
of
Will
it.
that take us back to the cars? You know what I'm worried about, Kathy? I'm worried about when the heat hits Florida. I can't take the heat.
Yeah, that's why I'm
So
figuring the treadmill will come in handy for that.
I guess I'll just run in place. I don't know. And I've got my bicycle. Now, a bike riding in the heat, I can take a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's just a cheap little bike, but it gets me going, I guess.
Does it have a basket on the front?
It does. I was
Can
going
you
to
put Toto up there?
Klaus. Klaus is going to ride in a little basket. I'll strap him in, put little goggles on it.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Oh, this is just too exciting.
All right. So we're going to keep this up, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe not always together, but
Right.
keep it going.
We're going to have our own adventures.
Yep. All right. I think I'm going to head home. I got a birthday to celebrate. Birthday cake to eat.
All right.
Oh, good Lord.
So that was your first walk
Yeah.
as part of this.
I loved how you guys got on the bus and it was silent. Don't talk to me.
All their energy was expended.
I don't know about the rest of you, but when I first moved here, one of the things I was excited about was the fact that I was going to be able to get out and walk like all year if I wanted to.
Wasn't that also sort of this lie you told yourself about moving to Florida? Well, if I move to Florida and I go to this trouble, I'll be near Disney and I'll walk every day.
Yeah.
That was our goal. We were going to walk all the way from the front gate of Epcot to the back out to the front gate every single night.
Yeah,
And you realize it's 100 degrees outside and you're going to die.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now when I sit at my desk and I watch those people on the days that it's like 95, I'm there like, really? You're out walking in the neighborhood? It's like, no, that's when I went and bought the treadmill. But it's like I had this vision of I was going to just be so much healthier.
Do you use your treadmill?
Not as much as I did when we first got it, no.
We do. Our luggage is stacked on top of it.
Yeah, we don't use it for a clothes rack just yet, but
It's all about it's all about making that. It's not a one-time commitment. It's a daily thing. I mean, you really
Right. have
to make a commitment every day to whatever you've chosen to do to accomplish your goal.
Right.
Whatever way works best for you. And I really appreciated the first time you said months ago about if you kind of fall off the wagon, to just, okay, well, I did that now, but this afternoon I'm back on. That stuck with me. And I really believe it's the reason I haven't put the weight back on, because I would say have a moment of weakness.
Not a heck with it.
Right. And that's because that's normally, and anybody who knows me knows I'm very black and white. There's very little gray going on with me. So except, well, up here. But I normally, if I failed, I have completely failed. There's no such thing as one piece of chocolate or one slice of pizza or whatever. But I remember when you said that, and that really stuck with me. And that every time something would happen, like, okay, my next meal, I'm just going to make a better choice. And
Well, I like,
let that be that.
I've done
I don't
Weight
want you to
Watchers.
think that I'm always good at this.
Right, no, I understand it. None of us are, and that's the whole point of this, is that we're not experts on this topic, but we know what we do, and we're figuring that I think a lot of the people watching
Oh, I think there's a lot of people
probably
out there
do the
just
same
like
thing.
me. I think there's
Exactly.
Yeah, there's emotion. I'm an emotional eater.
I know
I eat when I'm stressed. I eat
the
when
other
I'm
day
happy.
when I posted on my Facebook page that we were looking for some tips and hints of how to get started with this, because my feeling with all of this is I don't want somebody like standing over my shoulder. I don't want people preaching at me.
Right.
And my Facebook friends came up with, oh, geez, how many pages of
There's a lot.
things did we get? Simple things. Justine said, like that I like to dance. Take a dance class or something. That in my mind,
I want you and Teresa taking tango lessons,
They should
and I
do
want that on
Zumba.
video.
I had thought about Zumba, but I tried it at home, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I really want people
I
watching
want
me
that
do
video.
This.
I want that video more than
We
anything.
should
What,
do
tango?
Dancing with the
Or-
I don't care
podcast
anything.
stars.
Wasn't the Habitat Hero thing enough? I mean, I was
No.
doing the Habit Hero, doing the little.
Oh,
The
now's the
hamster
time
habitat.
What was the phrase from that? Now's the power
now is
hour.
the hour to build our power.
Build our power.
Yeah, it was very Freddie Mercury and Queen.
But I mean, it's things like that like when I think of exercising, I think of like sitting on the floor doing 50 sit-ups, and that's not going to happen,
I
or
have
at least
the Angela
not.
Lansbury workout.
But my sister's a yoga master, and yoga has kept her in shape.
My
Though
favorite
it doesn't
yoga
seem-
position is leaving the yoga class.
Leaving the yoga class. I don't want Kathy.
I stole that, by the
Kathy
way.
has said this before. She doesn't want to be preached to.
Right.
I want people's opinions in a quiet manner.
Your hair
Single
looks funny.
file. I don't want someone
Single file.
preaching me their way might not be the right way for
Right, it
me.
might not work for you.
Exactly.
But I want to get all the information in and then do what works
Take
for
what
me.
you
Right.
want,
Yeah.
leave the rest.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Now that you've kind of done this public, does it give you a different incentive?
It does for me.
Do you feel like you've committed yourself?
I
in a
have.
public forum?
It's more of a okay. I got to do something. I got to August comes. I got to look different.
Yeah, there's
Just
accountability.
Strap it all.
What's really funny is I'm the exact opposite. I didn't post, I've lost 5 pounds, I've
Yeah.
lost 10 pounds, I've lost 20 pounds, because I know the minute I do that, someone's going to find me in Epcot with a Mickey bar stuck in my mouth and say, I thought you were
And
on
you
a
know what?
diet. And
That's
my feeling
okay.
is, well, then it's mind your business.
It is mind your own business, but I'm okay with putting myself out there. I think a little bit more than Kathy is on this point. Mm-hmm. She's a little bit more laid back on this.
I said I would be responsible, or I would commit to Teresa that I would tell her what I've done or what I've not done.
knowing I wouldn't tell anybody except John.
But
I won't tell anybody.
but I don't want to like every day say on my Facebook page that I did this, or
Right.
I don't want my Facebook peeps going, we haven't heard that you've exercised this week.
See, I don't want them to do that either, but I'm okay with saying, this is what I've done. I almost want like a buddy other than you, Kathy, because you're not a late night
Okay.
person.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's good.
love you to
Yeah.
death.
Wow.
But I need a late night person because that's my trouble time, is in the evening when I'm all alone wanting that food. I got to be able to call somebody.
Here's something I found out for me. It has a lot to do with when I go to bed. If I'm up past midnight, anything, and I do mean anything in this house, is fair game to eat.
Yeah.
If I'm in bed between 11 and midnight, I don't get hungry. But about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I start getting hungry, but it's a different kind of hunger.
Yeah.
It's like this. I've been possessed by this ravenous beast.
Yeah. It's not about the hunger at that point for me. It's about I don't know what it's about. It's about, okay, I know that food's in
But
there.
it's a desire to eat food that I don't have the desire to eat at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Right.
It's something about 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and it's like Jekyll and Hyde almost.
Yeah.
And
It is. I'm that way.
for me, part of doing this is taking care of myself when I'm grocery shopping, and asking myself, what is it I want in the house available to me to eat? Okay, because I have a stockpile of hummus in there that remains unopened.
And you buy it every time you go in.
And I buy it every time I go with
Well,
the
buy
intention.
one, get one free. I mean,
With the intention of eating it. And I love hummus. This is the thing, is I absolutely love hummus.
but
But I love peanut butter more.
it could be nothing in the house, nothing special in the house when midnight comes.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at that point. Whatever, I can, nothing better than
I have
make your own frosting and give me some
cocoa
crackers.
mix.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden you can make
That's
anything
when you
out of
get
it.
that honey out of the cabinet and start
Right. It's very
Now,
fast.
see, I
Sit in
haven't.
the corner of the kitchen. Just
Peanut butter.
I don't have
Spoonfuls
that.
of peanut butter.
Well, you go to
with
bed so
honey on it.
early.
Yes, but I mean, there are times like early afternoon for me is like I need nibble food or
Well, I'll sit there and eat carrots at that point, but it's when I'm alone.
Right. You make during the daylight hours when people can see you. I'm going to have celery.
I am sitting there eating my hummus and my,
during the day when God can see you.
That's right. The lights go out and the curtains get closed, and that's when you get
Yeah.
the honey out.
But I've been that way my entire life. I think
However,
my
there
mother's
is
that way.
one of the things that we learned on doing the MetaFast was read the package that you buy, the food that you do buy, because there are choices out there that are better for you than other choices.
Yes.
There
You
is
talk
a-
about peanut butter. Let me just go real quick. You talk about peanut butter. Peanut butter is actually really good for you, even though it's high in fat.
Not when you're eating half a jar in a sitting.
Are you doing peanut butter fingers?
In a spoon.
No, I'm talking about tablespoons.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no, it's disgusting.
mix-
Yeah, see, after that, though, the problem with that is then you need a half a gallon of milk.
Right. Then you're all, the moisture sucked out of your body.
Right.
You see,
Exactly.
I've started doing that, looking at the labels. And so I've already started to do things like if there's a lower calorie version of something, I'll go for that. I don't go 0 calorie
Right,
or
right.
fat free. It still has to taste good to me.
Kevin loves cereal.
I do.
He'll have cereal at night. And we have found cereal that's actually the same calorie and carb content as a MetaFast meal.
Okay.
So you can go out there and you can find it and it tastes good.
But, when we talk about food and food choices, that's very important. But understand that's the food we're eating is the symptom, not the cause.
Oh, I know, Dr.
And
Phil. I know.
The symptom is up here. Seriously. No, I mean, you can joke about it, but if
Bacon's not love.
Well, exactly. But if you're not, but if you're going to go into this, for me anyway,
Oh, I
to go
know.
into it, it had to be about, okay, what is it? Because, and for me, I'll speak for myself. A lot of it, I mean, it's self-abusive.
Oh,
It's self-abusive. It's abusive physically. It's abusive emotionally because the way I feel about myself when you're heavy,
Yeah.
you don't always feel great about yourself. And here she goes.
No,
she
go
goes.
there.
Waterworks are on.
made it
There's
this
also-
far.
But for me, it was about saying, okay, what? Yes, I have to make better choices in what I eat, and I have to make healthier choices in what I eat, and learn what's sustainable for me. But also, what is it that's going on with me
Yeah.
that's leading me to make these choices in the first place?
Yeah.
And if that's been part of my process.
I
It's
said-
an ongoing process.
I said to Teresa that doing this should be easy for me because I had the worst thing that could ever happen to you in life when my husband
Right.
died. And that you know, it's like you don't know where to go, what to do. So losing weight or making this my goal of this should be easy, but for some reason it's not.
Right.
I should be able to just, okay, this is my task, I'm going to do it.
There's also something that a lot of people don't understand is when you're heavy, there's a fat person mentality.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's definitely this idea of I have my biggest problem, and I say this to Kevin every time I eat too fast, and I have to finish everything on my plate.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
And it's just what's in my chemical makeup in my brain. So you have to sort of overcome that as well.
We also find out it's much different. We don't have children in the house.
Yes, that makes a difference.
I don't
too,
have
yeah.
to provide for nutrition for children. We find that not having it in the house, we're just at night when we get those screaming Mimi munchies, we're just too lazy to go out and get it.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it in the house, I wanted to tell you something. You were going back to the calorie thing. We have found things called Special K fruit crisps.
Okay, I've had
And
those.
they're like 2 mini Pop-Tarts in a little foil package. And they are, if you're a sweet craver, they do the job. And 2 of them are 90 calories. So
Yeah, versus a Pop-Tart, which is 400 calories.
Right. There's much less fat in them. And we found they're really, really good. And they now come in strawberry and brown sugar and cinnamon. And you get 2 of them in there. So while it's not your diet, all it really is the number of calories that you're putting into your body.
See, that's what I've done Weight Watchers several times in my life. The first time being, I think, 13 or 14.
Me too.
My parents, my mother, I went with my mom. Looking back on it, I was not overweight, but I was a pudgy, I don't know what to call it pudgy, I wouldn't call it fat. But anyway, back then it was all tuna and lettuce. Now Weight Watchers is a lot more involved. You're counting points, you're counting, whatever. I like that approach because you can earn extra points for activities, which would put more, and I kind of like that.
The problem is I owe next Wednesday's points.
Yeah, you can
I've
borrow.
borrowed from the next 6 days.
I can remember going to Weight Watchers, and there was a bunch of us from work who went, and the one lady had water pills. She goes, "Here, would you like a water pill?" So that night I stood up in Weight Watchers and went, "Hey, I lost 3 pounds this week. How did I lose it? I took a water pill."
Yeah.
So I wasn't being true to myself, but there was that pressure of, you'd better come in that room and say that you've lost weight.
I was doing the Metafast and going to the doctor, and I went to get weighed, and I took my keys out of my pocket. And the nurse said to me, "If you have to take your keys out of your pocket, you're not there yet." And I thought,
Yeah.
snot.
Shoes off, take your glasses off.
Right. So we try and fool ourselves. And I think the very best advice I've ever been given, and it's so simple, but it's so difficult, is it is all about moderation.
That's
Yeah,
the most difficult
it is.
thing, though.
It is the most difficult thing.
Especially, when you're heavy, chances are that, at least in some areas of your life, moderation doesn't play into it. Again, anybody who knows me knows moderation is not in my vocabulary. And that's, I know abstinence, when I've overcome addictions and things like that. For me, that's about abstinence. That's about, I've been open on previously on the show about I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. For me, that is about abstinence. There is no such thing as one drink for me. You can't practice abstinence with food. Right. You can avoid certain foods, but you have to eat to live.
Right.
So, abstinence is off the table. It is about learning moderation. And that is probably the most challenging thing for me.
One of the things that we struggle with at home, and John just admitted it, is I can open please don't think I'm being angelic here. I do this all the time. I'm better at it than he is sometimes. I can open a box of cookies and have a couple of cookies. John would rather not have the cookies in the house.
Right.
Because he believes if you open the box of cookies,
They must all be eaten.
It must be gone.
Now.
and I am trying to learn
Share with no
differently
one.
than that. But I realize that that's what he struggles with. I struggle with the fact that I sit and watch TV, and I'm watching TV, but in my head I'm, sort of doing the card catalog, what's in the refrigerator, what's in the cabinet, what's in the refrigerator, what can I make? Because I'm not afraid to get out the pots and pans at 11:30
Right,
either.
and cook yourself something.
Right.
Well, as I said to Teresa, though, and I know the chatterati are probably going to go, oh, yeah, there she goes. But I would like to believe that maybe in my lifetime or somewhere along the line that they're going to find that there is a gene that predisposes you to being
Oh, I
heavier
wouldn't doubt
than,
it at all.
that it's not all just me. Maybe if somebody
There-
said that
genetics
to me.
are involved. No matter if it's a gene or not, there's genetics involved that give me more body fat
Genetics,
than someone else, than say,
the
Craig
way your
or
brain
Dustin.
works. I mean, I can look at my family. I look at my daughters, and they're totally different bodies. They're eating the same food at my house.
Right.
And one's not, unless, and I don't think I'm the only one out in the kitchen eating at midnight because there's nobody else out there but me. So unless they're coming in after me, but
I'm not a violent person, but I want to backhand the people that tell me they forget to eat.
Yeah.
Didn't you ever have anybody say to
Yeah.
you, "Oh, I just forgot to eat"?
But
And I think,
I can
are
go,
you kidding?
I can go.
Yeah,
I can
they're
go all
pointing.
morning.
They're pointing at Dustin, and with good reason, because he does.
Dustin, you could make me violent then.
Yeah.
Because I think to myself, how did you forget?
No, you
Come
want
on.
violent. You want violent. You want to get violent with somebody. Get violent with Corey Martin. That boy can put away food like no one I have
His
ever.
metabolism must be like.
And
He's
he
also
doesn't
works out.
gain any weight. He has a great physique, always has, and he can eat virtually anything he wants. Now he doesn't have a taste for sweets. Doesn't.
He said to me one day, "I don't eat candy.
He doesn't.
Once a year, I'll have a handful of Skittles."
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor thing. So struggle.
But put a 23-ounce prime rib in front of him, and within a matter of minutes, it will be devoured.
But he doesn't eat that way every day.
He eats a lot.
Every day.
Julie
Eats a
says,
lot.
what did Julie say? She's got to cook twice or something for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
We went to
Ooh,
Texas.
in one day? You don't
Well, I
cook
mean-
twice in one
No,
day?
I mean like double the amount, 2 meals for him for
We
dinner.
went to Texas de Brazil with Corey one time, and I thought we were big eaters. We stopped an hour and 10 minutes before Corey.
Yeah, really. We're gonna take a break. So, what do you think the effects of being near Disney is going to have on this process for you?
I think-
Do you think you're going to be better because you'll have someplace to go to walk? Because I know I hate to just walk around my block.
Right.
I do
That's
too.
boring
I
for me.
have got Disney's 40 minutes away from me, but I have got an amazing little walking trail park near my house that just goes on forever. Bike, walk, skate, whatever. Yesterday was my first day in the park. I've lived here for almost 5 years, and it was my first day to go in this
Wow.
park. And it was pretty cool. I'm shooting little videos. What do you call them, Sean?
Vines.
The vines.
No, you're vlogging.
I'm vlogging.
Yeah.
I'm going to be vlogging. I love that word. About this. It's just since I can't get to be with Kathy, if we just waited to do it together, it wouldn't get done, but maybe once a week or
Right.
once every couple of weeks because of our schedules. But I'm committed personally, I'll say it right now, 3 times a week, I'm going to either be walking in that, Stella and I are going to be walking in that park. And opposite days, one day of the week, don't say it's going to be Sunday, I don't know what day, I'm not going to do anything. But, because I got to get myself that day to, lay there and stare at the wall. But I'm going to be riding my bike too. I've got this little bike with a basket, and I'm going to be out there, pedaling like a crazy. Yeah, I'm going to be doing because it's so much fun. If I could talk Stella into biking, she's not on board with the biking part yet. But I think when she sees me, whizzing through the neighborhood with a big cheesy smile on my face and my little short hair flipping in the wind. Or my big
have
floppy
this all
say
worked
something
out,
hat.
don't you?
I do.
Say
I'm
something
going to
hat.
strap Klaus in that basket, and it'll give me extra weight.
Now I see myself over at the parks walking,
Yeah.
like Epcot, because Epcot, like you could get in and really, walk World Showcase, where Magic Kingdom, I don't feel like I could get up a big enough head of steam to make it through there. But Epcot, I love, because then to me it's not like I'm walking for exercise. I'm walking and enjoying what's going on
Right.
in the park at the same time. So I plan to do that, but I also have my treadmill at home that I want to work in there. And, my first goal, I guess, is to figure out what time during the day
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like first thing, like when I wake up at 5 o'clock, go in, check, make sure that everything's okay in my little world, and then maybe at 7 o'clock when Good Morning America comes on.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Sure.
You're going to do better if you do it before you turn on your computer
really?
and sit down.
Okay.
Because how often does it happen that you get involved in an email?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You
Oh,
get
yeah.
caught up.
Happens and you get caught up, and next thing you know, hours and hours go by.
Do it first thing, get it over with.
In the morning, see, I can't do. I'm not a morning person. I cannot get up, and
Yeah, me too. It takes me a couple hours.
it takes me a couple hours, and I've got
okay.
too much. My morning, especially when school's going on, I would have. Stella and I were talking about this last night. We wanted to walk before our day started. We'd have to be in the park at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
to get it all
that's
done
not gonna
before
work.
she had to go to school.
Yeah, no.
And I don't see that happening.
Now, talk to me about what your plans are with the future of these segments. What are some of the things you're planning on doing?
Well, we want to do more, and we'd like our listeners, viewers, to let us know where they'd like us to see us walk in the parks, because we will do more videos of walking within the resorts. Right, Kathy? Is that what we're going to do? The resorts, the parks, whatever. I'd also like to, and biking. We want to do some biking together. I think that would be fun. I want to see, the main part for me would be see Craig try to film us well.
Well,
he's
I
already
think
got
what you
to.
should do is you guys should get helmet cams and do it from your perspective.
They have those little. They have them
The
at Best Buy.
GoPros, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun, right?
That would
Instead
be
of having
fun.
the camera on you and walking,
Right.
see what you see.
what
when
we're
you
seeing.
walk.
Because
That's
you
what my
two are
walking
interesting, but it's not interesting to watch you walk.
Well, I agree. I agree. Well, with going back to the video I shot last night with me and Stella, it wasn't on me. It was on what we were seeing.
Right. I think that would be more interesting to our viewers.
And what our conversation
right,
was.
and then hear you talk about what you're seeing.
Yeah. So I want to do a lot more of that. I also, I would like to maybe, for me personally, to get maybe 1 or 2 listeners involved with me.
It's funny you should say that. I've been thinking about this for a while. I think we should have a thread on the Diz Unplugged board where people post. You can't tell me that you're going to be here in October. That does me no good. But if you post, I'm going to be in Walt Disney World the rest of this week. I think I would like to do more walking also. And I think it would be great if we let people know when we were going to be in the park.
Yeah.
I'm going walking this afternoon, and it's really got to be that kind of flexibility, because I can tell you I'm going to go to the park on Friday, but I can guarantee you that something will happen between now and Friday that won't happen.
Right.
Right.
Right,
I'm on my way
exactly.
there now.
It's got to be like, I'm in the car.
I'm leaving now.
I'm in
right.
the car,
But if there
yeah.
was a thread where we could do that, I think it might take a while for it to catch on, for people to check back when they're going
Right.
to the parks and things like that. But I would be willing to walk around and run into people.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Also, I think,
I'd be willing to walk around and run over people.
I think walking at the same, if you know someone, even though you can't walk together, if you're walking at the same time in your own little world, I
Well,
think that's kind of cool.
I was telling Teresa I started using this program. It's called Map Your Walk. And it's sort of like it brings up a map. And if you have followers, they can see like where you're walking, like follow along on the map. It's not like they're going to see you, but
Isn't there like a paparazzi stalking site like that?
well, but I said to Teresa, I don't know that I would want to have everybody watching where I walked, but it was another way for me to sort of like see where I've walked. That again, it's sort of like I'm not wandering aimlessly,
Well, you could
but
do that picture diary that Sean talked about, so you could remember where you walked.
well, I said this program is nice because every minute or two, the lady talks back to
Right.
you.
I've had that. I downloaded that app. It's a great app.
And
It's telling you how far, like as you're walking, she's telling you've now walked a half a mile or 3/4 of a mile.
But she didn't say anything like pick up the pace.
But
You
listen-
like,
Mine would say,
No,
"Are
she
you
just
okay?
tells you what your pace.
Did you pass
No,
out?"
but she's always telling you like what your pace is.
But the thing you have to remember is you have to turn it off when you
Yes.
get in your car, because
pace just picked up.
yes, because I had
Oh my
done
God,
it,
you've been kidnapped.
and she goes, and now your pace is a 10-minute mile. Now it's an 8-minute mile, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Man, I'm
and it's
booking
like,
it.
Oh yeah, because it can sense the motion of your car.
You're driving too slow. It's taking 8 minutes to go a mile. But okay.
Well, you know what I mean. But it was like
I was
talking.
behind you on I-4 the other day.
It was like talking to you,
Right,
and
right.
I'm there like, okay, that's sort of because at least that lady, I can just sort of like tune her out if I want to. I guess that's my whole thing through all this is yes, I want help, I want listener support, but it has to be me.
Absolutely.
It has to be you what?
It has to be me that wants to do this, not because I was guilted into it or because somebody goes, I thought you said on the show that you were going to do this and now you haven't. I'm going to be tougher on myself than anybody out there could be.
No, I kind of want Bob Harper to smack me around a little bit and just say, come on, you can do better than that. I'm going to be out. Isn't that his name, Bob Harper?
Bob Harper, not Bob Barker.
Bob Harper.
That's what she said.
Bob Harper. I want to be able to go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and say, dang, I just ate these M&Ms. Somebody give me some words of encouragement.
Oh,
Somebody,
yeah, I think we both. I mean, I know I'm going to involve all my Facebook friends.
You're going to get the good and the ugly with me on this.
And you guys, you said you're open to suggestions as well.
I'm open to
right?
suggestions.
Yes.
Just don't stand over me and preach and say this is what you got to do. Give me all your suggestions. Give me anything that has
Tell me
helped
what you did.
Tell me what you did.
Right. And
That's
you can
right.
send those into podcast at disunplugged.com if you want to do that.
We also
that's
want their
fine.
understanding.
Yeah. And, gosh.
Well, what are you expecting is going to happen here? Like,
No, haven't you had those friends in the past that you told me you were going to do this? How come you haven't? Maybe that's how it is in my life.
honey, I've done 4 rehabs. I have absolutely had those friends. Believe me.
You know,
No,
and-
Kevin said he doesn't want to be walking around the park and someone go, how come you're eating a Mickey bar? Because
Right.
you said
Right,
you were going to
right.
go on
No, I
a diet.
understand.
You know what? This is my one Mickey bar. But anyway, I think I see this segment, series, whatever you call it. I want to do maybe weekly videos, maybe some video diarying. That's not diarying. And maybe check in again in June. And we'll see where we are. Do a little update of what's working, what's not working. And then maybe again before the cruise and just to see. Because I think my wish is that they're going to see when we're on the show that they
Yes.
can physically see us
Yep.
changing a little bit.
And they will.
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for.
They will. All right.
So anyway, that's
Well,
it.
great. Thanks very much, Kathy and Teresa. Good luck in your ventures, and we look forward to hearing about your progress. That's going to do it for this episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Remember, everyone, stay out of the damn refrigerator.